Hi everyone, and welcome to the Heal Naturally podcast show. As you know, we search high and low for natural therapy products that are not available in mainstream retail, that we identify as being very unique or special in the marketplace, products that have an amazing story behind them, and most importantly, products that we feel are going to benefit our listeners health-wise. I came across the products that we are going to talk about today at the Royal Melbourne Show, and they were attracting an incredible amount of attention to their stand. So I actually stood back and listened to the story behind these products and immediately approached the stand for some information. You are going to love not only the products, but also the story and people behind these products. And I would like to extend a very warm welcome to my next guest on the Heal Naturally podcast show, Amrit Kumar, who is the Sales and Marketing Manager of Australurba Herbal Products and the brand Remedy Herbals. Welcome, Amrit.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to see you.
To be with you.
So my first question is, can you tell us about your wonderful products?
Sure. Put very simply, our products are herbal extracts that contain all of the active principles and nutrients contained within the herbs and spices in each formula. We produce our products according to an ancient and really unique method called the Spagyric method, which very few people have heard of.
I can't even pronounce it, actually.
Spagyric.
Yes.
It's spelled Spagyric, Spagyric method.
Okay. Yes.
And this is an ancient tradition of plant alchemy, which was modernized by the great Swiss physician Paracelsus in the 16th century. And this method allows us to naturally extract all of the different types of active principles and nutrients, which maintains the integrity of the herb and also maintains that natural context within which the curative properties are found.
Wow.
I use like a tea bag example. When we take, say, peppermint leaves or chamomile flowers and we steep them in hot water, we are only extracting from that plant the water-soluble nutrients, whereas all plants contain, yes, water-soluble nutrients, but they also contain essential oils and mineral salts. And the process that we put the herbs and spices through, this Spagyric method, allows us to liberate all of those curative properties within the plant. So we dissolve the essential oils and release all of the nutrients that they contain. And similarly, we leach the mineral salts from the herbs and then also release the curative properties and active principles that they contain. So it's a really full plant extract.
Well, that's amazing. So what you're saying through this process, that we get absolutely every possible benefit that you could receive from that plant. And
it's very much about recognizing that you're getting all of the benefits, but it's also about recognizing the importance and the virtue of taking active principles within their natural context. In our modern pharmaceutical medicine, we often hear about active ingredients, yes, which are isolated from their natural context and then manipulated in a laboratory or enhanced in some way. But from our understanding and from this huge body of knowledge, this alchemical knowledge, it's recognized that if there is take vitamin C. Vitamin C is really good for the body, but there is some added benefit in having that vitamin C within the natural context that is called a potato or an orange.
So that process, is it done here, like in your laboratories, or do you receive receive it in its finished state?
So we procure raw herbs and spices.
Okay.
And we do the full manufacturing in our facility, which was established by my father and grandfather in 1979 in Adelaide.
And I could imagine that there aren't very many laboratories that would adhere to this particular process or even have the equipment.
I believe that in terms of producing ingestible spagyric products,
yes,
I believe that we are the only laboratory in Australia and possibly the Southern Hemisphere.
Gosh. So when we're talking about taking herbs in their purest form, unless you eat them raw, you couldn't get it any more pure than what you're offering. Am I correct?
But yes, you are. But consider this: when we eat a raw food or a whole food,
yes,
it must go through the digestive system, and our digestive capacities and functions must break down that whole food into its basic nutrients, and then we have to absorb those nutrients. Some of those nutrients will be absorbed, some of them will be eliminated.
Okay.
Whereas with products that we make,
yes,
all of those nutrients that we've extracted are in a condition which is absorbed straight into the blood. So these nutrients are already broken down. They don't have to go through the digestive system. They're absorbed straight into the blood, and therefore the products have some immediate benefits within 10 to 15 minutes and some wonderful long-term effects to heal and balance the body and improve our internal function so that we don't have to become dependent on supplements and medications. It's all about improving our internal and personal health.
Okay, so let's now talk about these amazing products, because we've talked about the process. So, you know, for me to hear you speak about that, Amrit, is quite incredible. I don't know whether the consumer would be aware of the processes and the end result and what that means, but clearly from this process, and I'm not going to try and pronounce that word because I don't think I can, but immediately your products have the credibility. Immediately they've got the credibility, and they're obviously a very premium product. So let's look at how your family or came about formulating or sourcing this particular product, because I love this story. I love the story behind these incredible formulations.
I love this story too, and I really love being able to share the story and share the knowledge and share the products with the world. It's really why I became involved formally with the family business, because I really think it's so vital, it's so important to keep this legacy alive, which was built by my grandfather and my father. When I say my grandfather, just to be correct, he's not biologically my grandfather.
Yes.
He was my father's mentor, and they started the business together.
Okay.
But I called him grandfather.
Yes.
And he lived with my family as such.
Oh,
so
yes.
He's
definitely a grandfather then.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So he and my father are renowned, very famous doctors of Ayurvedic medicine, which is the traditional Indian system of health and longevity.
And we're hearing that a lot now. I mean, we're hearing it in yoga. We're hearing it with different products. So there are a lot of people that are aware of the benefits of what
Yeah, the Ayurvedic system is getting a little bit more traction, and there's a little bit more education
yes.
Going on in the, maybe not mainstream, but more people are becoming exposed to it, which is a wonderful thing, because its approach really allows for people to achieve a very personal state of health and fulfillment.
Yes, and it's all about the whole person, isn't it? It's about
Always. It's
everything.
about using every aspect of
Yes,
the human condition
yes.
to bring balance to every part of our functioning, our bodily functions, our mental health, our emotional life, our spiritual life. It's about balancing the bioenergies in the body. So my grandfather was a wonderful and highly esteemed physician of Ayurvedic medicine.
Gosh.
But in addition, he was a master alchemist. And therefore, that's where the spagyrics comes into it, because spagyrics is plant alchemy.
Okay.
So my grandfather, having studied for decades and built this profound understanding of both the Eastern and Western herbalism and alchemical traditions, spent over 10 years researching and developing and experimenting to develop the range that we now sell as the Remedy Herbals range. But he did that predominantly when the family was living in Europe, mainly in Italy at that time. And he and Dad, as part of the research, they visited a lot of the old ancient libraries and monasteries where a lot of the European knowledge has been preserved. And my grandfather, I should say his name actually, Professor Manfred Junius.
Yes.
To anybody that wants to look him up, remarkable man. He spoke 14 languages, including Latin, Greek, Sanskrit. So he was able to actually read a lot of the ancient documents in their original languages, which allowed him to understand in a really authentic way and gain that knowledge without the barrier of translation.
That's incredible. I mean, his level of education is like we don't see now, really. Isn't
No,
that?
we don't.
And not only that, but his interest in well-being. I mean, you're talking about things that really the Western world has only just caught up on. But you're talking about this happening, years and years and years ago. And that's what makes everything even more fascinating about your products. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, not at all. Oh, that really kind of covers the general kind of gist of it.
Yeah.
He had a formal education. He had the experience of being a physician treating patients.
Yes.
He had the whole laboratory of research and development, and so there are so many layers of study and knowledge that were built over decades that then ultimately resulted in these formulas.
Okay, so so bringing the formulas now into the 21st century, and we know now that the natural therapy industry here in Australia is worth $5 billion. And it's growing at a rate 10 times faster than the economy. So people out there, I think it's 2 in 3 people use natural therapies. It's serious business. And where we're at now is trying to decipher, I guess, which are the premium products as opposed to products that are on the mass market, because now a lot of the big brands know that they're very, very popular. And, which ones, I guess, are concentrated, which ones are diluted. Now the consumer is in a different arena. Now the consumer, I'm finding, is looking for the products that are genuine. And there is
And I
absolutely...
think you really hit on such an important word. I think that concept of genuine is so important, and I think it's so important to build that trust with the broader public and that sense of integrity. You know, there are so many fads. I remember in the 90s it was royal jelly and ginseng, and
yes.
you know, that was the fad, and all these businesses for profit's sake
yes.
You know, started pumping out royal jelly and ginseng,
yes.
and then it
yes.
was turmeric, and
yes.
then it was, you know, this and that, and because so many there are so many products that are being pumped out because of the industry, it can be so difficult to navigate as a consumer and be able to make those judgments of, does this producer actually have their own understanding and knowledge that is going into this product that I'm considering buying, or is it just being mass produced because it's a trend?
Well, absolutely, and I think because the market is so big, and there is still so much potential out there, that now consumers are looking for the credibility that you're offering. And Remedy Herbals, if you love herbal mixtures, and I don't know now anybody who hasn't been to their Chinese therapist or to the natural... I think there's now 10,000 naturopaths in Australia that are operating that haven't tried the herbs before to help them with any sort of condition. I know that within our household we certainly have. Your products have that credibility. Your products have that history, and that's why we love having you on, and that's why we love having the products on the website. So I know that it started years ago. How long has the product been in the market for? The herbal remedies, how long have they been in the market for here in Australia?
So the business was established in 1979, or that's when my father and grandfather built our laboratory where we continue to produce them. And they've been in a retail setting. I think they might have hit the shelves in 1980.
Okay.
So, yeah, 40 years of...
Very different times then.
Yes, but particularly in South Australia, we had this remarkable Premier, Don Dunstan, who had a real vision for the arts and for natural health and many other aspects of cultural life and community life. And he did a lot in South Australia, and my family was very grateful for the assistance that his government gave my family actually to start this business.
Well, it would have been very much a re-education of the consumer at that point.
Very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh. So virtually pioneers in the natural therapy industry. Very
Definitely.
Exciting times.
Pioneers and leaders.
Yeah, I mean, fast forward to 2018, and you know, to see the growth in it is incredible. No one would have expected to go into a pharmacy and find that, you know, 3 aisles are dedicated to natural therapies. It's quite incredible. So let's now go into a couple of your products. So of course everybody wants to know about the benefits of the products, and we were briefly talking about your Vigorous blend, which you were saying is amazing. It's quite miraculous in how it can help with your health overall, actually. So could you talk us through Vigorous and just show us the Vigorous remedy?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Vigorous Super Tonic.
Yes, there, I can see it. Yeah. Yep. Super Tonic. That's what
Super
I
tonic.
need. That's what I need. I need a super tonic, all right?
We all do. I myself have it every day without fail.
Yes.
And it is our best-selling item.
Yes.
It's a real, I think it's becoming a bit of a signature product for us, and the feedback that we get from people is just amazing. It has a honey base. Being based in South Australia, we use a local Adelaide Hills blue gum honey.
Yes.
That acts as the base of the product, and we then combine the honey with rejuvenative and medicinal herbs such as ginseng, Siberian ginseng, and Centella asiatica, which most people haven't heard of.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
You may know it as gotu kola, and in India it's grown, it's known as Brahmi, which has been used for thousands of years as a brain tonic.
Okay.
The formula also includes bee pollen, and if you haven't done a lot of research about bee pollen, I implore you to do so because it is absolutely fascinating. Bee pollen is the most nutritious substance known to humans.
Is that similar to a propolis?
Propolis is a different substance from the beehive.
Okay.
The bee pollen itself is when the bees are on the flower, and they literally brush with the little hairs under or their little legs, and they brush the pollen into a pouch, and it becomes granular.
Oh gosh.
And this bee pollen contains all of the vitamins and minerals that we need, all of the lipids, enzymes. It's rich in antioxidants. It is a miraculous substance and incredibly nutritious. And because it is so nutritious, it corrects a lot of the imbalances in our modern diets. So the Vigorous Super Tonic also contains the bee pollen, and finally contains ginger, cardamom, clove, and cinnamon.
So, how much do I have to take of it each day?
I use it as a health food. I am in excellent health.
Yes.
And I use it for its energizing properties because it strengthens the immune system. It balances the hormones. It also helps to normalize endocrine functions such as thyroid and adrenal function. As I said, it's a brain tonic. So I use it as a health food in my daily life to maintain my energy and my excellent health. And I just have a teaspoon every morning. You can use it as a honey. It's that consistency of a honey. So you can use it as a spread on toast, or you can drizzle it over your cereal or porridge, or whiz it into a smoothie. You shouldn't cook with it. It shouldn't be heated or boiled, baked.
Yes.
But you can certainly use it as a food with your breakfast.
So you don't lose any of the health benefits by diluting it in a smoothie?
No, not at all.
Okay.
As long as because that teaspoon worth of the product contains all those extracts and nutrients. So when you take it, whether it's diluted or undiluted, you're still consuming those properties.
Okay. All right. That sounds amazing. I mean, it
makes you feel absolutely incredible.
Well,
within about 15 minutes, it really gives you a wonderful energy lift.
Within 15 minutes?
Yes, absolutely.
So you wouldn't take it at night?
No, it's good to have in the morning.
Yes.
And perhaps again in the early afternoon. It's excellent for people that do a lot of exercise, workout, play sport, because it acts almost as a natural performance enhancer due to those energizing properties that gives you more and more stamina.
Wow, that's fantastic. So that's the Vigorous that we're talking about. Tell us about one more. I think we've got time for one more. This is fascinating. So what's
Great,
the
thank you.
next biggest seller that you can tell us about?
That would be our trim tea,
Okay.
which is a very healthy and gentle way to cleanse and detoxify the body.
Okay.
And if used over a longer period of time, genuinely assists with weight loss. It's not magic, of course. For weight loss, one always needs to think about what you're eating and your physical activity.
Yes.
But it most certainly assists with that weight loss through really healthy cleansing and detoxification. None of us has perfect digestion, and over time, especially if we overeat or if we don't do enough exercise or we have digestive dysfunctions, we retain undigested food substances or unmetabolized food substances in the body, and that's retained either as excess weight or as toxicity in the organs. We can accumulate toxicity in the blood, in the joints, and this formula, again, it's absorbed straight into the blood, so you don't lose any of the principles or nutrients through malabsorption or the elimination systems. It breaks down, releases and eliminates toxicity from the entire body.
That's
so you're
amazing.
It is. It really is, and it makes you feel incredible. Ultimately, you get this incredible clarity of mind, because when the body's not dealing with toxicity, neither is the brain.
Well, you know that there's so much talk at the moment about gut health. So much talk about that because IBS is rampant out there.
Absolutely. People are suffering with so many types of digestive dysfunction.
There's inflammation. We're finding people are constantly being now diagnosed as lactose intolerant, or they're celiac, or something's going on. How good is this tea for that type of condition?
I wouldn't say that the trim tea improves digestive functioning. It rids the body of accumulated toxicity.
Yes.
We do have a digestive formula, which we use specifically for people with digestive dysfunctions, digestive diseases, with inflammation, and that's the digestive tea, which improves all of the digestive functions, also corrects the pH in the gut to create the right environment to maintain good bacterial balance. It's wonderfully anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic, so it gives really great relief. And it even over time increases the absorption of nutrients. But within, again, 10 to 15 minutes, it has wonderful effects to relieve bloating, reflux, heartburn, gas, pain, cramping, nausea. It's a real life changer, the digestive tea, for people with ongoing or chronic digestive problems.
Well, that's quite incredible, because I have actually two daughters that suffer from IBS. One who went through year 12 last year, and once she finished her exams, all of the bloating and the pain and everything actually disappeared. The other one is
incredible, the relationship between stress and digestion.
I think that stress, to me, is the biggest culprit with a lot of these conditions, and it affects people in different ways. I know of a lot of people that have gone through a very, very traumatic time emotionally, who can end up as celiacs within 2 years. And they're diagnosed as a celiac. So to me, there needs to be, I think, some sort of connection to the level of stress. But what you're saying, and I'm going to go back to the digestive tea, because I'm personally interested in that. Is it accompanied by any type of diet?
So from the Ayurvedic perspective, diet is such a personal thing.
Yes.
It would be really wrong for me to declare any particular type of diet or food as being appropriate for everybody. We all have a very unique constitution, and we all have a very unique life experience. And depending on our basic body type, certain foods will can aggravate imbalances for us personally because of our body type and our personal constitution, and different foods might aggravate or imbalance another person's body. So it's not, I really struggle with these kind of suggested diets that are a kind of a blanket solution for everybody.
Yes, but the digestive tea doesn't come with a recommended diet, does it? It's something that you take as a tonic that you should feel some sort of relief within 15 minutes of taking it. And is it recommended that it's taken daily, twice daily?
It depends on your circumstance.
Yes.
So for people with ongoing chronic digestive problems, we suggest to start with to drink at the end of every meal.
Yes.
And then over time, and it does take many months to heal and improve our digestive health.
Yes.
And of course, people really need to be thinking very carefully about their personalised diets. But we do see in a clinic setting that a lot of patients are even able to reintroduce foods back into their diet that they were previously intolerant to.
Yes.
And we use the digestive tea as a really important part of treatment for all of my father's patients going through digestive problems.
Gosh, just let's just talk about now how many products in the range, and what are the categories that we should? Let's start off with the categories.
We have 7 categories.
Yes.
We have the anti-stress range or the stress relief range, which is wonderful for stress, anxiety, depression, or hyperactivity.
Yes.
The anti-stress really gives you a profound sense of calm, which is wonderful in times of stress or anxiety, or if we're struggling with depressed feelings.
Yes.
We also have the pick-me-up category, which makes you feel awake and alert in moments of tiredness during the day.
Okay.
It's not a stimulant.
Okay.
The pick-me-up works through the circulatory system to oxygenate all the cells in the brain and the body. And when we get that oxygen into the brain and the cells of the body, we feel awake and alert.
Okay.
And it's very good for the health of the organs and the joints, because they too are getting that good blood supply. We have our nightcap category, which ensures it's naturally sedative, so it helps people to fall asleep, but its real power is when we are asleep. It calms and soothes the nervous system, and critically it calms the mind during sleep, so that when we're in that light sleep phase, we don't wake and then the mind starts going. So it prevents waking during the night.
Oh my gosh.
You use it to reteach your body how to sleep properly. It helps to re-regulate our sleep cycle so that we can in fact go into a deep sleep.
Have you tried it? Have you tried it, Amrit?
Oh my God, absolutely. I've grown up with the products. I've used all the products since I was a little girl. My brothers use them with their children. All my friends use them. I obviously, get feedback from customers and my father's patients on a daily basis, really.
Well, this is the beauty of it. I mean, you're explaining to us all of these products that are genuine herbal remedies that really we all have to go and visit someone and pay quite a lot of money to go and see the Chinese herbalists or the naturopaths, and then we pay for the herbs on top of it. But here you can go direct and get these incredible products. I'm sorry to interrupt again. I'm just very excited about what you're talking about. I can relate to just about all of them. So, okay.
The wonderful thing is that there are no contraindications or side effects with any of the products. So they're really perfectly safe to have if you are using medications, pharmaceutical or herbal. And we know that there's nothing in the products, or particularly with regards to proportions and the amounts of the different ingredients that are so carefully combined. We know that there are no possible harms, no side effects, and they're absolutely safe to have during pregnancy, if you're breastfeeding, or like I said, if you're on medications.
What about the recommended age groups for your products?
So the products are appropriate for children as young as 2.
Okay.
And we have a range of the products. We have the anti-stress, the pick-me-up, the nightcap, and one I haven't mentioned yet, but the cold and flu formula, which are the extracts we combine with honey into a honey syrup, and these ones are often really popular with children because they often like that honey flavour, and the honey ones can also be mixed with a bit of milk, whether that's dairy or a non-dairy milk. So that's a really great way to use the products with children. The nightcap is excellent to help kids who struggle to get to sleep or that might wake frequently during the night. The cold and flu I find is a real must to just keep in the cupboard at all times, and if I feel anything coming on, I get straight onto it immediately, and often it doesn't really develop into anything. The cold and flu formula, again, within minutes really decongests the nasal passages. It's anti-inflammatory and antibacterial, so it's wonderful for a swollen or infected throat. It does wonders for persistent cough. It also has muscle relaxants, mild muscle relaxants, so it's good for aches and pains, and it really speeds up recovery.
Okay, so is that the 7? Have we spoken about the 7, or you?
I think we have. So anti-stress, pick-me-up, nightcap, digestive, trim tea, cold and flu, and the vigorous super tonic.
Okay.
They're the 7.
Okay. So, and today we have an unbelievable offer. Amrit, would you like to talk about that?
We certainly do.
Offer for our listeners?
We're offering 35% off.
Wow.
So just to give as an example, the Vigorous, which I said was the best-selling product, is normally $28.50. But with 35% off, that comes down to $18.50.
That's worth every cent. I'm definitely, once I'm finished with this interview, I'm definitely going to get some of these products because we need it for the family. I would recommend that you seriously look at these products and definitely give them a try at 35% off. Very, very generous. Thank you so much, Amrit, for joining us today.
Pleasure.
And of course,
for having me.
You're very welcome. And of course, these products are available at healnaturally.com.au. Thank you very much, Amrit Kumar, Sales and Marketing Manager of Astra Lerba Herbal Products, and the brand is Remedy Herbals. Fantastic interview. You are just so full of information. We love your products, and we certainly wish you the best of success.
Thank you so much.
You take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.